Cable news viewers in this country were treated to hours of live coverage this afternoon as suspicious packages were discovered all over Boston. Roads were closed, the Charles River was closed, and questions were asked about terrorism. Then came the explanation. NBC's Pete Williams has more from our Washington newsroom tonight. Pete, good evening.
Brian, at least this has a happy ending, but it is a strange one. Boston police did shut down a bridge, several main roads, including an interstate, and stop boat traffic on the Charles, all in response to 9 separate reports of suspicious devices with circuit boards, wires, and batteries. Police blew some of them up as a precaution, but none contained explosives, and now we know why. They turned out to be this thing, outdoor lighted signs to promote a movie coming out in May, based on an animated series on the Cartoon Network called Aqua Teen Hunger Force. These signs have been up in 9 other cities since mid-month. Turner Broadcasting says it has now told Boston police what these things were, and it says it's sorry they were ever thought to be dangerous, Brian.
Happy it's a false alarm. Pete Williams in our Washington.
Hello and welcome back to the You Show Show. It is the show where you show things. I am Calvin Laser McMurray, and today I'm joined again by my very, very good friend, Colin Santangelo. Colin, hello. Welcome back.
What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm great.
I haven't spoken to you in a week, because that's how we do the show.
You liar.
And
yeah, dude, it's been a great week. It's been a week.
Won some scratch-offs?
I did some scratch-offs, and I won jack shit, and drank some vodka.
Made some world peace.
Made some world peace, and just and then I watched this movie we're about to talk about. So
that is true too.
Which I was so glad that I decided, because anyway, I'll let you finish the intro before I'm gonna just shut up.
We're in it now, baby. And
okay.
So today's movie. Would you like the honors, or do you want me to do it? You pick. Do you want me to do the full title, or do you want to do the full title?
I can do it.
Why don't you do it? I always do this shit. You do it.
All right. So this is your movie you recommended to me. It is called Aqua Teen Hunger Force: movie film for theaters.
Knock, knock.
Welcome home, baby.
From the first assistant director of the second unit of Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, and the production assistant of the video, Know Your Fryer, comes the adventure of a lifetime. An animated epic featuring 3 all-new backgrounds and 5 characters.
Did you see that chicken guy running around?
And this chicken.
That guy was weird.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force: movie film for theaters.
I don't remember any of this.
That is the full title of this film. And obviously I am not going to say that every single time, so we'll just probably call it the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie to shorten it. But yeah, that is the official full-length title for this film. Came out in 2007, and I got a story about it coming out, but we'll get into that in a minute. So, Colin, what did you think of Aqua Teen Hunger Force: movie film for theaters?
I thought, man, Colin, solid move not eating that edible before you walk.
Patting yourself on the back.
It was fucking crazy, man. I loved it.
It is fucking crazy.
I loved it, and it's so cool because, I remember growing up, the late night kind of Cartoon Network shows, like the Adult Swim kind of shit. And I was really into Space Ghost. And I remember my dad would watch it with me, and he thought it was hilarious. And that was a show we used to watch. And I had no idea that Aqua Teen was really this spin-off from that. I must have missed it, because I've always kind of known about Aqua Teen Hunger Force and watched it, but it's been late night where I'm half fucking sleep and I didn't pay much attention to it. But I love it. It's fucking hilarious. It's basically just opening the valve of your mind and just letting it pour out things, and then making that into a show or a movie.
Yep. And just
Great.
Wherever it goes, that's exactly where it needs to be.
Exactly.
anyone that may not be familiar, I don't know. So Cartoon Network in like the early 2000s came up with this program called Adult Swim. You have, at this day and age, you've had to have heard of it by now. Like, you got to be under a rock to not fucking know, at least have heard of Adult Swim. But when it came out, it was actually really unique because it was cartoons and content, but oriented very much for adults. They got rid of the kiddie-friendly shows, which Cartoon Network at the time had amazing kiddie-friendly shows too, like Dexter's Lab and
Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, dude, Powerpuff Girls. Like, dude, so many.
Jack.
Yeah, dude, so many good shows. But then they came, and it was just this like really bizarre hodgepodge of cartoons that again were very adult in nature, but they weren't like, they still were goofy. They were still weird. But a lot of the people like that worked on Space Ghost, like a lot of the same voice actors and even some of the same creators, they worked on like all of this kind of together. Like Metalocalypse,
So good.
The Brock Show. What other ones? Oh my God, there was Squidbillies. I fucking love Squidbillies.
Right.
And there were all these cartoons, and to explain what they're about is difficult. Like, you could say Metalocalypse is about a heavy metal band. Squidbillies is about these like southern, I don't know, Alabaman. They're squids. It's a family of squids, but they live in the South and they're hillbillies, hence Squidbillies. But that's really about it. That's all you can say is like a general thing. And so they made these cartoons, and they were just like off the wall, and they were crazy. And like Cartoon Network was like, here's money, go nuts. But it was really cool. Like, I can look back at that period and like, I mean, it was like Adult Swim that like got me into Dragon Ball Z. It was
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, like
Dragon Ball Z. It's one of my favorites ever.
And like Gundam Wing, of all the Gundam series, Gundam Wing is probably my favorite. I really like that one. I have the,
really good.
the DVDs, and it was like this really cool thing that like, if you were watching it, you were part of this like niche group that it felt like a secret. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like it didn't feel like you weren't supposed to be watching it, but it felt like no one else was watching it, and that if you were like on the inside. But it was very popular, and it did very well, and it's still continuing to this day. And like, these shows now are worth like millions of dollars. And but a lot of these shows were super bizarre, and they were either shows that you either really, because like I like almost all of them. There were a few that got under my skin, but like 12 Ounce Mouse. Did you ever watch that one?
I did not.
Oh, that one in my opinion is a little too bizarre. Anyway, they were just super bizarre, crazy, unhinged, off the wall. And like, you know, these people are swearing, and they're killing each other, and there's blood, and there's murder. And it's fucking hilarious. And it's something that, like, in my opinion, you either love it or you hate it. It's funny because you said you and your dad used to watch Space Ghost.
Yeah.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force was like my favorite. There was something about this one that just stuck with me the most. And so, of course, I had the DVDs in high school. And like, I remember my dad used to come home from work, and I would have Aqua Teen Hunger Force on, and he'd be like, "Turn that fucking shit off!" Like, he's like, I can't listen to it. Like, it was just like, I'm sure for him it was just like 10,000 church bells going off all at once, and nobody wants to deal with that. And anyway, long story long, in then 2007 they made an Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, and I think it's the only Adult Swim program to make it into the theater.
Powerpuff Girls.
But that's not Adult Swim. That was Cartoon Network.
Oh, true. But well, I mean, adults. Well, that's true. Yeah.
It's technically
you're right.
Because they're
you're
like
right.
They're technically different syndications. Like
yeah, you're right.
So, a fun fact. Actually, I saw the Powerpuff Girls movie in theater.
It's a great movie.
My mom and I went to go see it, and we were both like the only people above the age like 12. It was a little awkward, but it was super fun. Anyway, that's a weird sentence to say out loud, but it's true. And but yeah, this movie came out in 2007, and it's fucking bananas. I saw this movie in theaters. What do you do when you go to a theater? Like you and your friends are like hanging out. It's a Friday night, and it's like, hey, let's go see a movie, right?
Yeah.
And then you and your friends decide what you want to see, and you go to the theater, you buy your ticket, and they say, enjoy your show, and then you awkwardly say back to them, you too.
So you say, fuck you.
Yeah. And then you go get your snacks. Everybody's got their favorite movie theater snacks. Mine is pretzels and cheese, man. And ices. Oh man, dude, those combinations right there, like I'm like my mouth is watering just thinking about it right now.
Can I tell you, I'm like a weird like trash person, and I freaking love Raisinets.
Raisinets and
Yeah,
popcorn
man.
are really good.
Dude, okay, a person along the way in my journey of life once told me about how you take bunch of crunch,
Okay.
you dump it into your popcorn, you shake it up, and you eat it together, and it's amazing.
I've never done that one. I'll have to try it sometime.
Try it.
I have a personal trainer, and if he's listening to this, I'm really sorry, Matt. But
I honestly can't remember who told me that, so I would love to give credit, but I'm like drawing blank. I draw a lot of blanks.
And then so you get your favorite movie theater food. That's a MF Doom quote. But anyway, and then you sit in your chair and you watch the trailers, and then like the first set of lights goes down, you watch the trailers, and then the second set of lights goes down, and then like that's the movie. Like this is it. And if it's a good movie going experience, no fucking cell phones are ringing.
No
one's talking. There's no kid sitting behind you kicking your fucking chair, and it's silent. Watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force in theaters was the best movie theater experience that I've ever had because everyone went fucking apeshit bananas and was talking and screaming and yelling, and everyone was kicking like the chair. Oh my god, dude, it was fucking chaos, and I loved every goddamn second of it. So actually, it's funny to revisit this film. I think about that, and I was with my friends Sam and Eddie, and we went to go see it together. And seriously, hands down, as far as a movie theater experience goes, this is the only movie probably in existence where like shouting at the movie theater is like part of it. It's like people go to the screenings of like The Room and they throw spoons and stuff at the screen and they shout all the lines. Like This is in that same vein where again, like you know what you're getting into going into a movie like this.
I found myself when I watched this wishing, fuck man, that would have probably been really fun to watch in the theater. Cause like I love how the movie opens with like the heavy metal fucking band explaining that if you talk or anything, they're gonna like kick your kid and throw it in the street. And I was like, dude, this is like all of the anger that I have deep inside when some asshole's talking during a movie. And like I loved that part so much.
Don't talk, watch. Don't talk, watch. You came here, watch it. Don't like it, walk out. We still have a fucking money. Do not kick or kick out the seat in front of you while sitting there. I am everywhere at once, and I will cut you off. If you make out here, I will cut your lips and tongue from your head with a
The film has it has probably the best opening to a movie ever. It just is.
Pretty great.
I find me a better opening than this. So it's got the like old timey like drive-in movie theater style animation where like a hot dog and an ice cream cone and like a thing of milk, they come out and they're dancing, right? And it's like this like sweet music about like get your snacks. And then I think like the hot dogs, like you can't beat my meat for a better deal. Like it's absurd. And then they keep walking, and then there's more food items like a pretzel and like a dot and like a candy, and they're just staring at this food, this like wholesome family food, and then it just kicks into heavy metal, and it's a song about watching movies in a movie theater. So it's like, don't talk, watch.
It's like the pre-show like considerations.
Oh my god, exactly. But it's like ramped up to like volume 11 in not only its like tone and volume, but in its absurdity as well.
I love it.
There's something about like don't film this movie. It's like copyright by Time Warner, and if I find out that you've done it, I'll break into your house and tear your wife in half.
Yeah. And then when they're talking about if you have a kid, they tell you to like leave the kid outside during the movie, and then after the movie, run it over.
Yeah, it's like leave the seat in the streets, and then the backup singer's like, run it over right after the show. Oh my god, dude. Yeah. So like, that's the kicker for this movie.
It sets the tone.
It has nothing to do with the movie, nothing. But it's also, funnily, the same way that it ends. It ends on those same food characters as well.
It does, but they never brought the heavy metal band back, which I was really kind of like asking myself why.
And that band, that heavy metal band is it's Mastodon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they got Mastodon to come in, and I think basically they made up the song, I think, like in a day. There wasn't a ton of time spent planning this. They basically handed them a lyric sheet, and they were like, just give us whatever you've got, and that's what they made. But then the movie starts. What is this movie about?
Dude, I couldn't even tell you, man. It's about... All right, do you want me to try?
Yeah, I'll help out, yeah.
Okay. All right, here's what I think it's about. It is about a group of foods, Master Shake, Fry Lock, and Meatwad, and they kind of are trying to figure out where they came from, kind of, but then they don't really know, and then they like are trying to get chicks, so they try to work out, and then they discover this machine called the Insanoflex, which turns out to be like this crazy, like ancient, like workout machine that procreates and just works people out until they explode, so it takes over the world. And along the way, the cybernetic ghost of Christmas past, who fucks everything, gets very excited sexually, very easily
aroused,
comes to explain the Insanoflex to these beings, which I guess are from Mars. Are they from Mars?
They're just from outer space.
They're from outer space.
Ignat and yeah.
Yep, and then they come across who's the doctor? The evil doctor.
Doctor. It's like Dr. Insano. Dr. Weird. Excuse me.
Dr. Weird. Dr. Weird's there. Who's the antagonist / they think may have created them, and then there's also these, I don't know what they're called. Sorry, but there's these two pixel characters.
Moonanites. Yep.
Who are probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're so bad at everything they try that it's amazing. And yeah, I'd say it's that. That's what I thought.
That's a perfect summary of it. Abraham Lincoln is in it.
Oh yeah, that was fucking time traveling Abraham.
Time traveling Abraham Lincoln is in it. It's at the absolute surface level, it's a film that is trying to create an origin story for what would become the TV show, but
you leave the justice clueless.
There's no answers, but like that's the point, and we'll get into like I think like what it means. A lot of people, like when I was younger, I loved Aqua Teen Hunger Force for just the sheer randomness. But now that I've been to film school and I've studied film and storytelling, and we've talked about that, there is actually like an underlying commentary about movie making in this movie.
Totally. I think it bridges with last week's film.
Yes, and that is a funny connection between the two, is that both of these movies are about movies, but in a very, very different light, obviously. One is a documentary about a filmmaker. This is about... in my opinion, this movie highlights the ridiculousness of ridiculous movies. And that hopefully by watching something like the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, you can watch other bad, absurd movies that are trying to be good and laugh at these things that these films are trying to do and establish.
Jeez. All you had to do was ask.
Missile codes. We don't need these.
Well, I need them. We are a go for Operation Banana Monkey 029 Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. Launchpad 1, Launchpad 2, Launchpad 3. We have ignition.
I am smelling a missile. Nah, there's no way. Greetings, I'm...
Just for clarification's sake, for if anyone has never watched the show nor this movie, yeah. So there are the three main characters who we'll probably be talking about the most. There is a cup. He isn't a cup. He's got a pink straw and he has yellow gloves, because why not? And that's Master Shake. And then there's a ball of actual meat, and he's Meatwad. And then there's Frylock, who's a basket of French fries. And then there's their neighbor Carl, who's probably my favorite character, who is this. Carl. The show and the movie mostly takes place in New Jersey, and he's just your like average cliche New Jerseyan East Coast. He's got like that wicked accent, you know, and he's just this piece of shit trash neighbor that's he's like a porn addict, and he's overweight, and he's disgusting. That's your ensemble. That's the catalyst for your story in this movie, and yeah, I think I guess before this movie, like 1 to 10, how much did you like know about the TV show and or like get in with it before the film?
I would say I was probably like a 3 or 4.
Okay, so you just seen bits and pieces here and there.
Right, like I said, just because I was part of that kind of like Adult Swim universe you were talking about, I knew of Aqua Teen, but it was weird. I feel like I was always half asleep when I watched it, you know, and I knew of it, and I just never dove super deep into it. But I will say, after watching this, totally going to
get back into it. I think it's on HBO Max has, I think, all the episodes and all the seasons. I don't know about the movie, but they definitely have the TV seasons.
There's something do it yourself about the vibe of this show that I really love, and like I love cartoons, man. Like I love cartoons. If I could draw better, I would be a cartoonist. Like there's no other thing that would be cooler to be in my mind. And so like I dabble in doing like my own, and like it's pretty great when you see something like this. And you know, like even like I remember seeing like the early Beavis and Buttheads, and just like once again it's kind of like people having an idea, and cartoons are cool because you just need yourself, you know, like you can go crazy with it, which is what I think this film does. It just is like, hey man, this is a cartoon, so we can do whatever we want. And then it proceeds to do that.
Touch it, quick.
Ooh, who farted?
Shay, not all women are into muscles.
Well, the beautiful ones are. The ones in Miami.
Come on, all women are beautiful on the inside.
I know that, yeah. I've been inside of them. Their homes. That's where I go when they leave for work. I get to know them before I meet them, and then I wait for them outside behind a bush. That's what gets me off.
Get you off what?
The chain. Off the chain. Follow me and learn. Sex ed has begun.
You don't... this is a movie that you do not watch for its story. You don't even particularly watch it for its content. You watch it for its humor. It's a very bizarre sense of humor. Its oddities. And it's experience. You watch it... like, I would recommend watching this movie with, like, a group of friends. Like, put some beers in you, have some friends over and be like, dude, let's just watch this. And that would be probably the best way to watch it. Obviously, if you're a fan of the show and you've not seen the film, then definitely seek it out. But, like, if you're home alone on a Thursday night and you're like, what movie should I watch? I mean, like, I would recommend to watch it, but I also love weird, obscure, crazy shit like this. But I feel like what you're talking about, like with the animation and how this is made, I feel like this movie was just like made to the max, and then they like just their budget ran out, not in a bad way. It's just like that was the end, and then that's the end of the movie. You know what I mean? Like there is no end to this film. A burrito comes in and announces that she's every character's mother, and then they go, oh, okay. And then the dancing food people come back, and that's the end of it. And every time I watch this movie, I always just feel it's like, and that's where the budget ran out, was right there. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah.
That was the line right there. That was it. Done.
I would be interested to see how much of their budget went to the opening with the band. Now that you said that it was performed by who did you say it was performed by?
Mastodon.
Mastodon, yeah.
I'm not a huge Mastodon fan, but I think that for the purpose of what they have to do in that opening segment, it's amazing. It's 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
But they actually have a couple of they got a couple name drops. Fred Armisen, he's Time Lincoln. Bruce,
that's cool.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell's in it. He plays the chicken brittle character that was made by deep frying 1 million live chickens all at once. And then
John Benjamin was one of the FBI agents. You can recognize his voice pretty clearly.
Mm-hmm, yep. And then Tina Fey is the burrito.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and then funny too. So actually, one of my favorite jokes in the movie. Okay, so like, just anticipate from here on out that if you haven't seen this film, everything we're going to talk about, you're going to be like, what? But we're in that same boat. You know what I mean? Like, you and I having seen the film are no different. Where it's just like, what? Because it's just crazy random shit. So there is a flying watermelon that appears.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, that appears randomly throughout the film. And actually, one of my favorite jokes. Okay, so it's a flying watermelon, and inside the watermelon, so the watermelon is a spaceship with rockets. And then inside the spaceship is a piece of watermelon, a triangle that can talk. And then he has Neil Peart, the famous drummer from, it was Rush, right? Yeah. And him and Neil Peart are in this flying watermelon. And Neil is like drumming like crazy. And he's like, and the watermelon is talking to him. He's like, Neil! To get his attention over the sound of this drumming. And then Neil looks at the watermelon and he goes, sorry, Walter. And he goes, that's Mr. Melon to you. So this character's name is Walter Melon. Oh my God. And that's the thing. It's like, if you can't laugh at that style of humor, you're going to fucking hate this movie. But anyway, Neil Peart, the animated character, is voiced by the real Neil Peart as well. So there are a couple of cool little celebrity cameos along the way throughout this film that are sprinkled in. Yeah, they I don't know the budget on it, but I mean, they made it into a movie. They did it, so.
I'm looking on Wikipedia actually, and to get that answer, since we were talking about budget, and so they had a $750,000 budget.
It's amazing,
and apparently it grossed $5.5 million.
That's funny. That's pretty good for this style of film and this style of comedy and animation, because this is a this is a movie where, you know, your family's in town for Thanksgiving. This is not the movie you put on. So that's pretty good if in my opinion. But then with that too, like you were talking about the style of animation, and the thing that I love actually about Aqua Teen Hunger Force the most is all of it is made with Photoshop, Illustrator, and After Effects. I mean, these are things that I have on my computer right now in front of me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you have any inclination to do this style of animation, you totally can. And so it's kind of funny because even rewatching it, like I work in After Effects all the time, and it's just like watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force, rewatching it, because it's been a while since I've seen this film. It's like, God damn it, dude, like, it's inspiring, similar to American Movie, another just kind of fun comparison where it's just like, at least for me, it's like, dude, just do something like this. You know what I mean? Like, I could do this. Like, obviously not to this scale, but like, I don't know. I felt like it was kind of inspiring rewatching this film to get back out there and make more personal art, which is kind of cool. So for that, I'm thankful for it. So,
absolutely.
But yeah, I think that he nailed it in terms of the overall story. But then you break it down into parts, and you know the movie is an origin story. But like, what I love is that like, they make it into an epic movie through ridiculousness. So it's like, no, I'm not your father. You're actually my father. And, you know, it's random and it's bizarre, but like, if you watch some movies that are like, again, made with like ginormous Hollywood budgets, like there's crazy, ridiculous, absurd shit where you expect your audience to make these giant leaps and bounds and accept it and go with it. And it's normal. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what this film is secretly, I don't know if secretly is the right word, underlying doing in its creation, is that it's like, it's saying that all these things that should be taken seriously in movies, sometimes it's okay to just stop and laugh at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I also felt like when I was watching, I'm like, dude, this whole movie is just like, your brain kind of just like arguing with itself, like as if you've had too much coffee. And like examples of that are throughout the movie. And one of the ones that made me laugh really hard, and there's just countless examples of it, is like when they first look up like what the Insanoflex is on a computer, and the computer starts like going into another dimension. Basically, there's like a warning, and it says, "Don't do it. Enjoy."
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
Yeah. And it's just these constant like buildups. There is like a huge sense of like immediate reversal. Like again, like don't ever do this, but enjoy. And and that's a great way to say it. It's just like it's like the left and right side of your brain competing for attention.
Oh yeah.
While watching this film. And like one of my favorite parts is okay, so you mentioned there's this Insanoflex, which is just your standard at-home gym equipment. But then they put a computer chip in it, and now it has become this sentient robotic creature with 2 legs that spin around in a circle, while a person is strapped to the inside of the machine doing a workout which powers the machine.
Yeah, it finds a host, basically.
Perfect, yes. So it picks up Carl. And you can. My favorite thing is as this robot is running around, it's causing destruction all over the city. You could just hear Carl and they do a really good job on the audio mix. So it's like really faint, and then the robot comes closer to the camera, and you can just hear him like because this machine is just frantically working him out. So this thing starts causing chaos all around town, and Meatwad, they're like, "What do? We need a plan." And Meatwad, I think Meatwad's my favorite character. I love him. He's like, I got a plan. And like the camera like zooms in on him. And it's that moment in any other movie where like somebody's like, okay, we're going to get a giant rope and we're going to attach it to this light pole. And then we're going to trip him. And then we're going to use this new weapon to damage him. So Meatwad's like, all right, I got an idea. And it cuts, and they're at a theme park, and he's like, this here is a roller coaster, and we're going to ride that roller coaster because time is now ending, and we got to enjoy the time that we got left. And it's just like, as a movie, that's fucking perfect, because it's like, yeah, like they build it up no different than like I think of like a Batman movie or like a Marvel movie where like I got an idea, and then it cuts, and they execute their idea miraculously. This does the same thing, but then in an absurd, fucking crazy, unpredictable way. Like there was a 0% chance your brain was like, oh, his idea is that he's going to take him to a roller coaster. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, there's no rules.
No.
None.
And I love it because like, I would imagine, I can just picture these guys like writing this script, working on this, doing the voice acting, doing the animation, and just having to, they had to have been laughing their fucking asses off being like, we're getting paid to do this, you know, like,
this is great.
This is probably, that's got to just be like one of the craziest, funniest feelings on the face of this planet is to say that you made the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, you know, like, oh, it's fucking bananas, dude.
Yeah, man. I love it. I really love it. Like I said, I fucking love cartoons. So anything that's also absurd is cool with me. So I had a great time with this. And I also really appreciate Carl.
I love Carl. He's funny. Then, I like to where so like we were saying, they put Carl in the workout machine, like you said, like a host. That's a great term. And so he is doing this workout, and he is getting buff every time the camera cuts back to him. He's just like more and more buff, you know, like within a matter of like hours. But again, that's cartoons, and I feel like that's also kind of them tapping into like the craziness of cartoons where like, again, nothing makes sense. Like, again, you could be a completely like Arnold Schwarzenegger sized guy in an afternoon if you just work out enough.
Yes.
And they put him in this machine. I'm gonna just play the sample of the song that is playing as he's working out. It's probably one of the funniest songs in a movie ever made.
It's fantastic.
good. And then so he's working out, and then finally they stop the Insanoflex. Now Carl's ripped and he's huge, and he meets another.
He's so big.
He's so big he can't even walk. And then he meets another bodybuilder named Linda. It's this woman who just like grunts awkwardly. And she takes him back to his place, and he's like, yeah, like I'm gonna get laid, hell yeah, and he's super excited. And they go back to her place, only to discover that it's Dr. Weird, and he actually orchestrated all of this, or at least to our extent of knowledge, he orchestrated this so that he could then lock Carl in the bed, and then with a knife cut off his muscles and glue it to his own body so he has an extra strong body to fight Frylock. I mean, like, if that's not fucking gold, I don't know what is. Because, like, again, it's stupid as shit, but I don't know if I could have ever come up with that idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Linda, I care about you. I respect you. So where am I gonna do you? Oh man, jackpot!
Yeah, lie down on it while I get nude.
Yeah. I like it. Whoa! Oh man, you are wild! Thank you, God!
Yeah, like that.
Hey baby, your muscles leaking. What's up with that? Oh no! Oh crap! Shit!
This is going to hurt! A lot!
Oh crap!
Oh, don't cry. You've been such a good boy. I'm gonna let you have a lolly. Now lick it.
And so for like that, and it's like this obscure, because a lot of people are just like, I know some people like the criticism of this film and even Aqua Teen and even like some of the other adult movies, like it's just like too crazy, too zany all the time. But like, I think it's really fun to look at it with the lens of, again, thinking like how they made this, how they wrote this, and how they got there is pretty cool, and it's pretty creative. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of people that always, and I've kind of talked about this before, where like, some people always say things to the extent of like, you got to watch, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas stoned, to enjoy it better. And it's like, no, you don't. You can.
No, you don't.
If you want to, that's a thing you could go do. Absolutely. You got to take LSD and listen to the Doors. It's like, no, you don't. I like the Doors sober while I'm working. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it can be a different experience, but I think that a lot of these guys have always kind of gotten that label. Like they just smoked a bunch of weed and wrote all this, but it's like, I really don't think they did. I think they did.
Well, that's why I said I was glad I did not.
yeah.
Because I was like, this is so much, like, it's better with that. Like, honestly, it's like, I don't know. It's great.
It is great. It's fun. Yeah. It's like I said, it's a movie that's best enjoyed, I would say, with a group of friends that are all willing to accept that it's not gonna it's be
like
cohesive.
A big fuck you, like, to me, that they were doing, where it's like they gave them money to make this movie and then they just did whatever they wanted. Mm-hmm. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and they succeeded. I mean, by all definitions, they did exactly that, and I think they made a good movie that I still watch to this day, which is kind of funny. And it reminds me of here's a question that I actually like to ask people. So I'm going to ask you. Have you ever seen Tom Green's Freddy Got Fingered?
Dude, I love Tom Green, and I have definitely seen that movie.
I love that movie. It's
so good.
It's horrible.
But so good.
It's so good. And I feel like that's like you just said, like that's another movie where it was like thanks for the paycheck, I'm gonna go do whatever I want. Because there's a line in that movie. He even says something to the effect of like, he gets paid in Freddy Got Fingered. He gets paid for his cartoon finally, and then he hires a contractor to basically take his dad to like Afghanistan or Iraq. And there's this whole thing, and they do all this construction, and he spends, I think, his entire paycheck of like $5 million in a matter of like 2 minutes. He spends it on jewels for his girlfriend Betty, and then he spends the rest on getting his dad to Afghanistan. And he says to the contractor something to the effect of like, he's like, that's money, easy come, easy go. And I feel like it's some commentary of him talking about like spending the money on that movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
easy come, easy go. This fucking studio handed me X million of dollars, and this is the movie that they got. This is what I made. This is the construction that I pieced together. And I definitely feel like that inside of the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie is they were like, you have to make a movie, and by all definitions they did. And it follows like it follows the formula of like the movies that were made from a TV show though too.
Oh yeah.
Like if you look at it like a lot of those movies always then would get like I remember they made what was the fucking Keenan and Kel? Was it the Good Burger?
Oh yeah, Good Burger.
And they made a Good Burger movie. And
They did.
They like every time they make a movie, then because it never feels like the show. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And like then they throw in these like giant movie cameos to indicate to you, the viewer, like, hey, look, we finally made it and we're a movie now. And so like they'll put in like a celebrity, whatever. I don't like we got John Cena in our movie, and it's like, well, what do you fucking do? It just means you get more money. Right. It doesn't mean anything. He's just an actor. He's just being paid to be there. He doesn't really give a shit about your film. He's just there because he's getting paid. And I feel like that's like the time traveling Abraham Lincoln in this movie, because they start with that too. He's like the opener to kind of be this like star celebrity.
I think that's where like they do a good job of like kind of trashing Hollywood in this movie, which I kind of love. And yeah, like time traveling Lincoln is incredible. It's so funny. And then like even the way that like the FBI comes in when they escape that scene and they like shoot up everything and then they're like freeze after they've destroyed everything in the room. So
which is a funny little commentary.
It's great.
And then they've got the line too where he's the one FBI agent is like, you know, he could be invisible, and he's like, look, Terry, I know we fought one bad guy that was invisible, but that doesn't mean every bad guy is invisible. And he's like, but that also doesn't mean that he's not invisible. Yeah, exactly. But again, that's like the funny thing too. It's like time traveling Lincoln. It's in the past of like, I don't know, 1800s. It's never disclosed, and then the FBI shows up, and it just makes sense.
Can we talk about the video game that they played, where it's like the American Civil War?
Yeah, but like
and the Confederates win. They just like don't pull any punches there at all.
No, they don't. And then so then they chase Abraham Lincoln and Meatwad, Frylock, and Master Shake in a car. And Abe Lincoln gets him to a rocket ship. He sends him into outer space. And then the FBI agents show up and they shoot a tranquilizer dart into Abraham Lincoln's neck. And he breaks his neck and dies. And they're like, oh no, we just changed time. And the camera zooms out. And it's these two white FBI agents tethered to a horse and buggy operated by a black guy with a whip. And then the white guys have shirts that say like slavery is awesome. It's just like, oh my God, dude, this shit's fucking insane. Like, it's just nuts. It's just chaos.
They go to some deep places in the movie for sure.
They do. They definitely don't really hold back in this, and it is 1,000,000% not always exactly PC culture, but it's not offensive. They're not claiming anything, in my opinion, that's like over the top. It's just there. You know what I mean? Like,
it's also a cartoon about a fucking milkshake, a ball of meat, and a
basket of French fries. Yeah.
So like, there's, I mean,
take it for what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. And like even like when the Lincoln characters, he's like, yeah, you'll never catch time traveling Abe Lincoln. He starts to evaporate, and then they just kill him.
Yeah, just done. That's it.
It was like, it's incredible.
It is incredible. I would say like what was your viewing experience with this? Like did Christina see you watching it, and like did you have to explain this or anything in any capacity like that?
Yeah, so my girlfriend was out actually at a work event, because like those have started to come back, and she does public relations. So she actually had to go to like a dinner. It was like a small kind of dinner type thing. So that's when I was like, I want to watch this movie, So I put on the movie, and I was about, I'd say, 3/4 of the way through, and then her work event ended. So I paused the movie and I went and picked her up, and got back to the house. I'm like, hey, I gotta, because like I don't like stopping in the middle of the movie, so I'm like, I just like jumped right back onto it. So she just came and sat with me, and she sat there in silence for about 15 minutes, and then she turned to me and she's like, "What the fuck are you watching?" And I was like, I honestly don't know yet.
Yeah.
And
I'm
don't know
done.
yet.
I'm almost done with the movie,
Yeah,
and I don't know.
I was like, I don't really know yet. And then, but like the thing about it is she was like into it, so we watched the rest of it together, and it was great. So then I was like, I'm gonna watch that again, and with like a more like critical eye, like trying to figure out like maybe why they did this or that. But I loved it, and frankly, it was really great because I did find that when I was watching it by myself, like I said, I was like, fuck, man, I wish I was like hanging out with the boys, cracking a few Coors Lights or something, and just like watching this movie. And so having someone to watch it with it became kind of more fun just because I could see how confused she was, and that made me really happy. I don't know if it's because I was like, oh, good, it's not just me, or if it was like, yeah, like, but I still like it.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, this is a movie where like you could have you could be watching it with like your headphones on, and somebody could walk by and kind of just like look at it briefly, and after any given minute, like a full 60 seconds of anyone just briefly watching this, I guarantee they will have to stop you and be like, "What are you watching?" Because it's just obscure, it's absurd, but
it's a very valid question.
You know, the internet is a popular source of information, and the internet is also a popular way to play some of my favorite games, like Crystal Meth, Nightmare Killing Spree, and Clam Digger, Head to Head. Here I go.
Don't you touch my computer.
Oh my God. There must be 50 bars on this page.
Whoa, I gotta get on that.
No. Bra shopping in here.
Let me see, come on.
Do you mind?
Here, you will bookmark that.
Oh, what? You never seen a bra before?
Not with the boob meat inside of it.
This is one of those things where if you don't laugh within the first like 5 minutes of the movie, just stop. Like it's not for you, and it's okay. It's totally, you're normal.
Also, like, if you do watch it, don't try to understand it. Just let go.
Just let go, and that's probably my favorite thing in the movie is just let go, because some movies are, they're about X, Y, and Z, but then for A, B, and C they need you to let go, and some people can't, and
right.
It's just like when you watch a film, you gotta look at it from what they're trying to tell you. And so this film will oddly train you to do that, and hopefully then highlight other obscurities in films that are meant to be taken in a more serious.
Yeah, it's like you just don't take it serious, and have a good time with it. And it's so nice to like watch a movie where that is the intention, really. Like, I don't want to say it's all nonsensical. Like, they're clearly making some comments on stuff, but I definitely think it's, like I said, like when I was able to just be like, all right, dude, don't keep trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Just enjoy it. I was like having a great time with it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you liked it. I
loved it. I loved it.
You'd recommend the film to people?
Oh yeah. I purchased it, so I have it now. So when I do have a like yard movie thing, I'm gonna hit you up.
I'll be there front row.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, this is Calvin's Reco.
I think like I think it was like $3 to buy on Amazon, which is, it was either $2 or $3. I can't remember, but either way, it's the exact price that it needs to be.
It's perfect
for this style of movie. Kind of similar to American movie. Like, if you like A, B, and C, you would like this movie.
Shit, man.
Yeah, I would say, obviously, if you've ever been entertained by any of the Adult Swim content, you would like it. But I think that's really, as far as that reach can go, that arm is pretty short.
Yeah. I would say, like, it's different, but the same kind of thing of like show that became a movie. It's like, have you ever seen Beavis and Butthead Do America?
Oh hell yeah, I saw that in theaters. Dude.
It's a great movie.
Yeah,
I love that one.
That is a good.
Love that one.
That's a good one. I would say like
I would say like Eric Andre's show reminds me of this a little bit in terms of like how it's kind of all over.
I would even say like if you're like a fan of I love the Jackass movies, all three of them, and I would say like it's just that because again like they do random crazy shit, and if you're into that style of humor, this would be applicable.
Coming out with a new one.
Yeah, they are. But anything else on Aqua Teen Hunger Force : movie film for theaters?
Just get it. Just buy it. Like you said, it's like $2. It's like just have that in your arsenal. You're gonna want to watch something like that at some point where you don't really want to think. You just want something to kind of wash over you, or just crash over you. And I'm glad I have it. I'm glad I own it so that I can watch it in the future. And I think it's a great movie to just find an excuse to have some people over, chill out, and watch this cartoon that's pretty awesome.
You know what else? Like obviously having people over to watch it could be good, but I think that this could be a movie too, where if you have like a party, you know what I mean? Because like you're not in the living room, but some people will be. You're moving around. You have a party at your house. Put this on.
You can totally throw this on in the background too. Like that works as that as well.
Yeah, like put the subtitles on and put it on volume like 5, and then have your music and your party everywhere else, and this is just on, and a minimum of 2 people will thank you and enjoy it because you did that. Yeah. A minimum of 2 people, I guarantee it. So yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and unless there's anything else, we'll pop this one in the bag.
Yeah, let's wrap it up and send it out. I think we've covered it enough where you got to go watch it.
Just go watch it. Just go do it.
That's why we recommended these things for you to watch.
Exactly, and sat here for 2 hours just talking about this in the middle
about Aqua Teen Hunger Force. What is it? Fuck.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force : movie film for theaters.
For theaters, but it's unfortunately not.
Which it is for theaters, but it's for your living room or iPad as well.
Did you ever see that interview with David Lynch where he's bitching about people watching movies on their phone?
No, but I would like to.
Just YouTube it. He's like, he talks about the movie viewing experience and then why it is important, and he's 1,000,000% correct in everything he has to say. And then he goes full Lynchian, and he turns it on. You can just see it. It's like an engine, it's like a car engine. He just turns it on. And then he's like, and then some fucking people want to watch this shit on your phone. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god, dude, it's so funny. Well, as my friend Janine would say, a tree can't grow unless it rains. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Colin, thank you so much for being here. And
anytime.
Thanks for flying into the studio on my first class jumbo jet. I hope. Totally. With the champagne and the mimosas.
It's all right.
It was okay. Yeah. There's room to improve. Because we got billions for this I'm going to shut up now. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. One more fun little fact about American movie. This is from IMDb. Mark in the movie says the word man 151 times. That's a piece of trivia you can leave with today. So thanks, everybody. Bye.
See you later.
Don't be a jerk and don't be a fool. Be a good neighbor and follow these rules. What are these rules? Remember to keep your shoes on at all times. Don't pull your penis out unless you really need to. Indecent exposure is a class 2 felony. You should